in high definition. This is KCal 9 News at 2.
And today it's all about carbs. We're getting some expert advice on the good, the bad, and the ugly. Still ahead here, we are getting the skinny on carbs. Find out which ones you want to eat, which ones you should avoid. We'll be joined live in studio.
You're watching KCal 9 News at 2.
You know, when it comes to carbs, a lot of us feel like we've heard it all. Carbs are good for you. No, wait, carbs are bad for you. Today we're getting a little clarity on the subject.
Dietitian and nutrition expert Lisa Fazio is here today. She's going to talk to us about the carbs. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I think Dave's right. We hear about carbs, and sometimes we think that they're all bad for us. If we eat them, we're going to gain weight.
Exactly.
It's not always true, though.
It's not. And actually, many times avoiding carbs can get you in trouble because you need carbs for energy. And if you don't have the carbs, you're going to crave sugar and eat the junk. But not all carbs are created equally. So let's start off with the bad carbs. I know we all love the bad carbs.
Yeah, let's have some.
I know.
Open up that bag.
You know, nothing
Lisa. Like
the soft white bread to have a PBJ on that.
There you go.
Chips, white potatoes, white crackers, even cornflakes. What happens with the bad carbs is that it's going to spike your blood sugar and you're going to crash. So much insulin has to be produced to process this stuff, and then you're going to be hungry again. And it's also not good for diabetics because it's really going to make a spike in the blood sugar.
It sounded like a lot that you mentioned was white bread, potato chips, white potatoes.
It is. It's kind of the white stuff across the board is a good rule of thumb. And look for the fiber on the label, and that's where we'll talk about some of the good carbs.
So is there a replacement for these things? Is there a brown version? Like
there is,
so
of course, because you do need carbs in your diet. Again, you need it to think, it fuels your brain, gives you energy for exercise, and you won't crave the chocolate and the junk if you incorporate carbs. So the good carbs to incorporate for weight loss, for blood sugar control, are going to have fiber, like you said, the brown stuff. Beans actually are even more beneficial because it's going to give you protein and fiber. Fabulous to incorporate beans. Again, the darker ones with fiber. Read the food labels. And Triscuits and high fiber cereals. Oatmeal, of course, would be a great way to start the day. And instead of the white potatoes, go with sweet potatoes. It's going to have more potassium and a lot more fiber. High fiber cereals, and experiment with some different grains. Instead of white rice, go with brown rice and quinoa and bulgur, and you can find those all at the major markets these days.
And what is quinoa? We've heard a lot about it lately. It's kind of a new buzz food.
It is. It's very popular now. It's, you know, it's a grain, but it actually has protein. And unlike rice, which is not going to have any protein, you get about 7 or 8 grams of protein with quinoa. So it's very popular among vegetarians. And you can throw it in salads, and it keeps really well in the refrigerator. So yeah, pick some of this up, and it's very easy to cook. You know, don't be intimidated by it.
You know, one of the things that might be hard to distinguish is the cereals. You say something like cornflakes. I mean, we think of it as corn, and what's the difference between that and this?
Well, again, this is going to have a lot more fiber. So when you read the label, it's made with whole grains and bran. So when your body has to digest this, just think of it as your stomach is going to have to break down all of that fiber, and it takes longer to digest, whereas the machines have processed this already. You want to let your stomach and body do the work instead of the processing in the machinery.
I see.
And what else do we have over here? A whole grain pasta. This is interesting. So again, don't just pick regular pasta.
Yes, and again, this is very popular now. You know, everybody's trying to eat healthier, and it's becoming very sauce on it. You're really not going to know the difference. Maybe even fool the kids and the husband a little bit. But yes, it's going to have more fiber. And again, a lot of people have diabetes these days. And with diabetics especially, it's so critical to have high fiber diets because it's going to cause a slower spike in the blood sugars.
I think carbs in general, you know, I think everybody just kind of lumps them all together, and people who are trying to go on low-carb diets, the Atkins diet, for example, I'm focusing any carbs I want out of my diet entirely. Not the case, though, huh?
It's not. And, you know, when you eliminate carbs and you're eating tons of protein, protein is very hard on the kidneys, and protein has cholesterol. So protein is not a free food. People lose weight on high-protein diets because they're watching what they're doing and they're eating fewer calories, period. Has nothing to do with the magical component of protein. But for a heart patient and long-term, you can't eat all of that protein and get away with it.
All right. Great advice, Lisa. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
For more information, just check out our website. It's kcal9.com, and you can click Seen on TV.
And coming up tomorrow here at 2 o'clock, the 25th.